What is going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel where we're just going to go through some behind the scenes footage I've taken from a wedding I did in January of this year. This wedding in particular, I think it's so key to know lighting, especially if you get booked at a January wedding at a venue that's very dark and kind of gloomy inside in some certain areas and stuff like that. And, you know, sunset was at like 4:30 that day. Right after the ceremony, we got like 10 minutes of sun and it was 0 degrees. It was one of the coldest weekends. You just never know when you're going to be up against winter lighting or whatever the case may be. So it's so good to have a lighting technique or just lights in your toolbox, especially when you're getting hired for something pretty big, especially weddings. Gotta be on your P's and Q's, as they say it. You know, I like to get there a little bit early, at least a half hour early. And whether I shot at the venue or not, which this venue in particular I have, I still like to walk around and kind of scope it out and try to give myself some ideas, get those juices flowing a little. Always something that I can see that I'm like, ooh, that would be kind of a cool photo. Like, how many lights am I gonna need? Am I gonna be able to do this? Are we gonna have enough time to pull the couple out and take photos over here? You know, try to incorporate all that stuff and just kind of slowly, you know, make a memory of all these different like little areas. And then in this case, I think this was after the ceremony. So I just set up a couple lights down here on the staircase, and I'll just show you real quick what it looks like. So you can kind of see there's a stairway here. There's kind of this tinted reflective wall. So I wanted to really utilize that and incorporate that. I just told them to come out, and I told her to stay up at the top of the stairs. I told Drew to come down. And then I'll kind of show you what my lights I'm trying to use here. So I just wanted him to stand there and just kind of, you know, enjoy his new wife. So I have a 8200 right here with a mag grid on it. And the reason I did that is just to kind of direct the light on him. And I just wanted it to hit his face. I didn't want it to spill all over the stairs or the mirror or anything like that. I really wanted to try to direct it on him. And then as you can see back here, I have my 12-foot stand, which I think I have it fully extended because she's up on the stairs. So I have it way up and I have it directed over at her, which she's right there. So that's my light setup, and I have a mag sphere on that just to kind of give her a little bit more soft light instead of that direct flash. And here I'm taking a few shots. So I came up, got my lights dialed in, told her to stand and look towards that light that's over here. It's because I want the light on her face. And then I told her to kind of scoot up a little bit on the stairs. And he's just cheesing. He just got married to that girl. So you can kind of see a little bit better here. So she's standing at the top of the stairs. There's my light. And then my light's right next to me. It's going to hit him in the face there. Direct. And then you can see kind of that first shot. My settings are up here. The one thing I wish I kind of would have changed is I got my 20mm f1.8 lens, the Z series. I love that lens. It's a nice wide lens, but for Nikon. But I wish I would have put it at f4. She's a little bit too blurry, and you know, I could have even popped it up to f9 or something to try to get them both in focus. But I got him in focus smiling there. I did another one with her in focus, and he was kind of blurred out, which I like this because, you know, she's more the attention here. So just got her looking at him. Kind of like that light above her too. And a little different look. Again, you know, like this is kind of the shot I had an idea of, and then I was like, okay, I'm gonna set it up and just do this shot. I made sure, like, all right, I got my lights dialed in. You know, that only took a couple minutes. What else can I do in this room? Why, we already got the lights dialed in. Take a couple different more angles or go in a different spot and just keep them where they're at and take another couple shots. And that's kind of what I ended up doing here. So I kind of ran up the stairs, her reflection, and then him looking up at her still, you know. So took this shot. The only thing with this photo here, like, this would have been a really cool photo if I would have put him in the dark doorway here instead of having the light come through and hitting him. And then if I would have just lit him up, kind of his frame, I guess, so to speak, a frame of him. Or I could have just did a backlight right here and kind of did a silhouette of him, maybe with a colored gel or something like that. So there's so many different options I could have done here. And then I decided, okay, maybe I'll just get her in frame so she's a little blurred out looking at him. So then you can still see her in focus up here in the glass over there. And then he's obviously very happy. And now it's kind of like, okay, as you see, I'm turning on my flash on my camera because there is a white ceiling there. So I'm like, okay, well, maybe I'll have her just look at me. And then I can get a portrait of her real quick, and then he can kind of be the highlight background, and then you can still see her reflection. So just work with what you're doing. I didn't even thought of that earlier, but I was like, well, let's just have her look at me. It took me a couple seconds, and then I ran back down and had him walk up the stairs. It only, I think this session was maybe 10 minutes, not even, 5 to 10 minutes. And then here, I just kind of wanted them to hold hands. And I just wanted to use these, candles here just for a foreground. And just kind of use it as a foreground effect. And again, this is like right before some chill time. And then there's black and white. Got a different angle from over here. And then I kind of did some taller angles so I can kind of incorporate that. The statue-ish light that they had there. But yeah, and only thing I wish I had a ladder so I could get more straight on with them instead of shooting up at them, but that's all right. And over here, as you can see, like over here, there's like a red box, some signs, there's a bunch of noise over there. So, I was trying to cut that off with my frame, and then I wanted to get the candles on there as well. And then here I was trying to shoot through the mirror, and this, it worked. This is a reflection through the mirror, this shot. And then I took out my camera, and this is always a good thing to do too. Like if, like I said, I got all this noise over here, my light stand, all these boxes and electrical stuff. So I just used my camera here, and as you can see, kind of see his reflection here, just to cut that stuff out. And then I thought, oh well, I can actually add these candles and kind of get that mirror image, so I can kind of create that crop image there of both of them. So give something in this dead zone over here. So, and that's it. Again, this is one of those situations where you have to find things in the venue because sun's either gone away or the weather's horrible. It's so nice to be able to utilize a light, because if I did not have lighting in this photo, this just would be orange tongues and lights, and how gloomy it was in that room just wouldn't have turned out the way I wanted it. Just a few behind the scenes little ideas here, but want to portray out of this whole thing is just really try to zone in on your lighting, whether you're just practicing at home, not just practice outside and do photos and stuff like that. Practice in your house, like at night when it's dark. Like look at a mirror on the wall and think, how can I make a picture out of this? And just kind of play around a little bit. Play on yourself. See, play with yourself. yeah, okay. But anyways, that's how I learned early on. I was single at the time. I had this tiny little apartment. I remember just setting up lights and like taking self-portraits and like trying these crazy things and doing photos with like 5 of me in there and like learning Photoshop and stuff like that and just kind of geeking out. And I'm very glad I did that, because I can really take that into my business now and feel confident for, pulling a couple out for 5 minutes and being confident enough that I know how to use the lighting. It's just nice to have that confidence to know that I can be quick at this, I can be dialed in and create some pretty cool portraits for them. So, all right, thanks for watching, guys. Peace out.